If you ain't with me, it's like Anakin Skywalker says. If you ain't with me, then you are against me.
Yo, that's actually sick, dude. Let's go. That's dope, bro. Let's go, man. That's sick.
How's it going, everybody? Today we're back with another Cyraxx video, and if you haven't been keeping up with Cyraxx, it's been one of his craziest summers of all time. Like, we started off with Low T, and Low T was a saga in of itself. We got a brand new Lolcow out of it. In fact, I haven't heard much from Low T in a long time. He's probably in jail. He's most likely in jail again. And then we had Cyraxx arguing with Sally, and a bunch of other smaller arcs that I can't quite remember off the top of my head. But now, it's not even close to the end of summer, and we've got another huge thing that's happened. So we gotta go back in time just a little bit for you guys to understand what's going on. You might know that there's a Lolcow I've covered on this channel called Uncle Gums, a complete degenerate. Uncle Gums has tried to pay $50 for mine, lemurs, Kiwi Tapes docs. Anyone who can get it, you was getting $50 from the Gum Man. Uncle Gums is also known for having a PSA around his town exclusive to him to let all of the teenagers know that Gums will contact you on Snapchat. And please do not follow up with his messages, leave him alone at all costs, which is just absolutely insane. But Uncle Gums, you're going to understand that it gets way worse from here on out. Because Uncle Gums, around the time he announced the PSA and it was going on, well, around the time the PSA was happening, Uncle Gums was going on like a degenerate rampage. A lot of us was thinking he was just trying to get a video made on him, but in all honesty, this is just Uncle Gums' actions 24/7. He was going around to multiple streams just admitting to all the degeneracy he's done, chatting up people he definitely shouldn't have, if you guys catch my drift. And when he wasn't receiving that much attention for it, well, he decided he was going to go to a lolcow known as Cyanide, and they were going to tag team, and they were going to start giving Cyraxx some money. And I had heard about this, but in all honesty, there was nothing ever that came from it. I don't think there was a single dime ever donated towards Cyraxx. So I just forgot about it. And here a couple of weeks ago, I would say not a couple, it was like a week or so ago, Uncle Gums started messaging me on Twitter, well, I guess like tweeting at me, and was like, hey, guess what, I'm still a degenerate. And I'm like, well, Uncle Gums, yeah, everyone knows that. And he's like, I just want to also tell you that I've been messaging Jay from DAP, if you guys know who I'm talking about, DAP. Uncle Gums is like, I've been talking to him, messaging him, saying, oh, you're never gonna catch someone like me. I've been a degenerate for so long, chatting up so many people I shouldn't, and you're never gonna catch me. And I guess this got to Uncle Gums' head a little bit, and he's like, you know what? If I can just brazenly message this guy named Jay, and I guess after building up some confidence by messaging Jay and nothing coming of it, he's like, you know what? I'm gonna go back to what I was talking about 2 months ago. I'm gonna start donating to Cyraxx again. I bet that'll build a lot of buzz and attention around me. And it sure did, but we're gonna talk about that more later in the video. Right now, I want us to start when Cyraxx was first talking to Uncle Gums. You can tell because he started building up confidence again. There was this mysterious friend who was giving him so much energy and support that he hasn't felt in a long time. In fact, he was going to start suing people. And I want you guys to know that Uncle Gums, for like the last 2 or 3 months, has been really wanting to start suing people. So I'm definitely thinking Uncle Gums put this in Cyraxx's head. He's just putting his own twist on things Uncle Gums commonly talks about. I don't know, it's just a little strange if you ask me.
You guys want to know how much I'm really losing out on in a year? Realistically, you guys want to know? I am losing out on anywhere from $500,000 to $1.1 million a year. And that's with merch sales. That's with the drop of my music. That's with my content. Outside of my outside of all that, with just my content alone, I'm losing out on close to 100 grand a year, maybe even more. And guess what? I don't get to see 1 red cent of it. I am not a paid actor. I am not a paid musician. I am not a paid anything. I have worked my ass off since 2010 to build up my content, to have my content be the best content that it can be. Matter of fact, let me explain, let me break it down for you, because I have the numbers right here. I have the actual stats and the numbers right here, because I know a lot of you guys like stats, a lot of you guys like numbers. This is how much I'm losing daily, monthly, and yearly without merch, without record sales. This is just off of pure content. Daily, $175 to $400. Monthly, $5,250 to $12,000. Yearly, $63,000 to $144,000 yearly. And that's off of just content alone. That's literally just off of content alone. That's not even counting merchandise. That's not counting record sales off my music. That's just off of videos. That's just off of videos and ad revenue and views and clicks. Where are these numbers coming from? Me looking in to every single YouTuber. Without the merch, I should be making about $510,000 a year. Not bad. And between 2010, when I first started, to now, I should have been making anywhere from $500,000 to $750,000 a year. And that's between the time I started and now. So I am legitimately a fucking millionaire. Okay? And that money, that's money because y'all always talk about, you know, oh, you need to get a house, you need to get a car, you need to do this. Well, gee, I would be getting a house if y'all let me do my shit.
Cyraxx has drunk thoughts when he's sober. Like, he sounds like someone who's damn near blacked out. Like, oh, I could have made this much money if I would have did this in my life. If I would just kept that in pristine condition, I would have been a millionaire by now. And then they wake up, realize they were an idiot last night, and they're still an idiot today, and they should move on with their life. But no, not Cyraxx. He's thinking about this plumb sober. In fact, he's even trying to calculate how much he's gonna make off of merch sales. If there's one thing in the world that's pretty hard to do, is calculate how much your fans are gonna buy merchandise you're selling. That's like one of the hardest things out there, but not Cyraxx. A matter of fact, he thinks he's gonna make more off of that than he is ad revenue. And Cyraxx, I'm gonna tell you right now, you would have an easier time calculating how many bed bugs you would be shipping with this merchandise than you would calculating the profit margin, because not only does he not understand ad revenue, he has absolutely no idea about merchandise, because I've never done it myself. But just from what I've heard, like, people who are selling like just Teespring shirts, they're only making like a $7 profit per sell. So Cyraxx, how many shirts are you planning on selling if your profit margin is like 500K? Because think about it, he's like, with ad revenue I'm gonna get 200, 300,000, but once I start selling merch, it's going to be like 600, 900,000. You throw in a few more profits here and there, we're going to get to 1.1 million. And you guys know what he was doing. He typed his name into YouTube. He looked at all the most popular videos, said 1.1 million views. All right, that's about $50 million, easy. All right, 800,000 views. It's about 75,000. I'm thinking, right. And if Sally forgot to slip him the gummies, he grows enraged. He runs downstairs. He would have probably smashed the table like Jack Baker in Resident Evil 7 if him and Ed hadn't already done it a few weeks prior. Complains to Sally about it until she sends him up into his room. And there's a few theories that the deadbolt is on the outside of Cyraxx's door, so that's even if he can get out of the room in the first place. But being locked in his room, like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the 2013-2012 version, pretty bad movie if you guys remember which one I'm talking about, allowed him to work so hard he was able to invent a brand new genre of music, right? Well, no. Cyraxx has never worked hard in his life. It's so funny when he brings this up. Well, the one time he went to Gordon's house, he was talking to Gordon about how he's going to be a famous rapper, and the logical man Gordon was like, Cyraxx, this is a hobby. You need to start working a regular job, and like anyone with a hobby, if you start earning money from it and you start earning more and more, you lessen your hours, you cut down on the work until you're making enough that this hobby becomes your career. Like, that's a very logical approach. But the way Cyraxx saw it is no, because I'm never going to achieve this rap career, but by saying I'm going to be a rapper, by having these goals I can't realistically reach, I can then say, Sally, you must let me live here for years and years, and you must hand serve me Hot Pockets, you must be my sewage disposal, and that's the way Cyraxx wanted to live his entire life. So when met with the reality like, hey, you should go work and potentially get out of there, no way. That thought scared Cyraxx so bad he decided to crash out.
Like I said, this isn't just me making up numbers. This isn't me just spitballing random numbers. This is literally me going off of everything I've worked my ass off for the last 10 plus years. And that's how much I should be making right now. And like I said, everybody always wants to know, if I started making money again, on that level again, what would I do with it? Would I spend it all on myself? What would I do? First of all, first thing I do is buy myself a house. Then I would buy myself a really nice car. Nothing too expensive, but something that, I'd buy one of my dream cars. And then the rest, once I buy the house flat out and I ain't got to pay mortgages, I ain't got to do none of that. Once I buy that house, then guess what? The rest is going to my family and my friends. Buy my mom a house with my stepdad. That way they can have their own house, have their own place. Pay for all their bills, make sure their mortgage is taken care of so they ain't got to worry about paying nothing at all for the rest of their lives. And then the rest of the money I would split up between my friends to help them out. I wouldn't go around being stupid with my goddamn money. I wouldn't go out and buy a $300,000 Lambo and drive around town and be like, hey, look at me, I'm driving a car that can get up in 2 seconds, and then I'd have to pay almost double what the car is worth just to have it fixed. No. Everybody wants to know what kind of car I'd get. Bro, my ass would get an old school Boss Mustang, man. An old school Boss Mustang fastback. Something classic, something nice that I can work on at home if something goes wrong with it, because I have the knowledge and the know-how to do it, because I took auto body shop when I was in high school. So I know how to weld, I know how to work on engines, I basically know everything about cars when it comes to fixing shit. I can rip apart an engine block, I can sit there and I can paint, I can primer, I can weld, I can fabricate. People say they want me to get my license. Okay, leave me the f*** alone, let me make my content. Let me get enough money to buy my own f***ing car so I can go get my f***ing license. Y'all say that you want me to get my own place? Let me f***ing get the money together to f***ing do it. Let me do what I need to f***ing do. So I can buy my own house, so I can buy my own car, be out on my own, make an honest living, and not have to worry about shit. Because, see, I'm at the point now to where I do need a fucking actual agent. I do need an actual agent and manager that can help manage the shit that's going on. That can help keep these trolls out of my shit. That can talk with Twitch or Kick if something's going on. They can reach out to them. They can reach out to YouTube. And they can get shit done. That's the point that I'm at in my career.
Did he really say when he starts making money again? I'm pretty sure Cyraxx has made like $160 throughout his entire career. With the Uncle Gums donation, I think like 210. In a decade, Cyraxx has made about $210. 100% would have a better success rate begging on the streets, but whatever. When you start making money again, Cyraxx, if you ever strike it big once again, you start making 420, you double up. What are you gonna do with that money? it's so funny. Sally has been taking care of him for so long. But no, Cyraxx is getting the house first. He's getting the car that he's always wanted. So, that's probably hundreds of thousands of dollars right there, squandered immediately. Cyraxx isn't getting any good deals. There's no bartering going on. He's paying the highest premium possible, and he's going to go broke. Then not only that, he's also going to give it to his friends and then his family. And one of the things that's always stuck out to me is when like rappers or something give their friends like tens of thousands of dollars, something that they've never earned, and those people probably don't have near the same respect for them. An interview I can think of right now is when Fetty Wap was talking about spending $20,000 for like 10 or 20 of his friends for a pair of jeans for every single one of them. I went to look at the comments and I was thinking, man, people are going to be talking about Fetty Wap riding for his homies. But then everyone in the comments was thinking like I was, like that is some crazy thoughts. But it's even worse when it comes to Cyraxx because he doesn't have any real friends. He's talking about internet friends, people who he doesn't even know. So you're going to give money to them before your family members, Cyraxx? It's all going to be gone. You got to respect yourself and where you came from first. It just shows even if he did have money, he would have no idea what to do with it. But who needs money management skill when your good old Uncle Gums is going to become your manager? And you guys know that's what was happening. Uncle Gums was resembling the look of Cyraxx, and he's like, you know what, man? I think if Uncle Gums gained about 70 pounds and threw on a wig, he would look exactly like Sally. I think this is the man that could take care of me, and we got a lot in common. And basically, he's like my long lost uncle. Because for so long, Uncle Gums has thought he was above everyone else. He was the smartest lolcow out there, and that probably belongs to Pirate Software, because the only thing about Pirate Software is his ego is so out of control that he can't even take a slight bit of criticism. But Uncle Gums thought that was his role. He thought he was playing with all of the cards. He was the chess master of this game. And most likely through some late night video calls as they played dress up together, Uncle Gums built up Cyraxx's ego to match his own, so they were finally ready to go against everybody who was against them, all of the detractors.
Oh, and before y'all go and post on the internet about how I fell for a fake record deal again, no I didn't. I looked into the motherfuckers. Why do you think I wrote a record label on the line where you're supposed to sign your artist name? Why do you think I did that? Because I knew it was a fucking setup. I record, I write, I produce, I created my own visuals, I've endured public hate, online harassment, and industry silence, and I'm still here. That kind of resilience isn't something you can buy, fake, or contract into submission. Let this be my final word. You are not legitimate, you are not credible, you are not worthy of my name, my time, or my art. But at the end of the day, I didn't fall for no record label. I gathered my information and I gauged how they would react. I tested their grit. I tested their knowledge. I can test. I fucking battle tested them, and guess what? They failed. Miserably. I've had a lot of motherfuckers try to divert my attention from my goals. Sitting there saying, oh, realistically, you'll never be able to do this again, and blah, blah, blah. That's where you're wrong. Y'all sit there, you say one thing, and then you try to backpedal when I call you the f*** out. I have my people that I know without a shadow of a doubt have got my motherfucking back. And those are the motherfuckers that I rock with motherfucking daily, bro. I got my fucking homies. I got my circle of friends that I know have got my back. But if you're gonna come in thinking that you're gonna get under my skin and get close to me so you can try to, me over, sorry to say it's not gonna work, because I'll find you out before you get the chance to even do any kind of damage. What, you don't think that the courts aren't gonna fucking rip the IP addresses from every YouTube account of mine that you trolls have gotten deleted or made me delete? You don't think they're not going to be able to rip the files from that shit and see what's really going on? They will. And when that does happen, there's going to be a massive, massive lawsuit against every one of you little ass trolls. And I mean a massive lawsuit. And I mean one that a lawsuit the size that this whole fucking country has not seen before. This will probably end up on the news and every news station in the country by the time it's done. Because this is probably going to be the biggest lawsuit in... This is probably going to be the biggest lawsuit in U.S. history by the time this is done. So for all y'all little trolls that think you're going to get away with shit, you're full of shit. It's never going to work out for you. Shout out to Non-Rage, Brad, shout out to Sebastian, what's up, man? And when this does go to court, because it is going to go to court, and when it does, like I said, the lawsuit will be so massive that it will probably end up on every fucking news station across the country. So, I mean, if y'all really think you're getting away with shit, you're really not. You're just literally helping me build my case. So I gotta play the babysitter. I gotta play the daddy role. And be like, no, 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 you're not allowed to do that. Which is sad. I hate having to do that. I should be fucking working and making money, not wasting my fucking time on a 6,000 plus nobodies that think they know me when really they fucking don't.
So when it comes to the record label deal Cyraxx was talking about, I had a few people message me saying, oh, it's the Bender Boys 2.0, but I was thinking to myself, I was like, this will probably fall apart pretty fast because I think Cyraxx is just too big for a Bender Boys type situation to ever work out again. And I think I was right because he recognized almost immediately, and when I say he recognized, it was most likely Uncle Gums being in his ear or another buddy troll, because not everything has to be Uncle Gums. Uncle Gums is just a huge influence right now, saying, Rax, you know this is a troll, you know, they don't truly appreciate your new genre of music like we do. You gotta be an independent artist. And that got to Cyraxx, and he's like, you know what, they're probably right. And if I did get rich, I'd have to move out, and we don't want that. So Cyraxx, he freaked out, he crashed out, left it all alone, and then he proceeded on with the lawsuit, which is probably why Cyraxx even left the record label in the first place. He might have held out hope, but since Uncle Gums was like, and I know this one was Uncle Gums, was telling him, we're gonna have a lawsuit against every single one of them. Kiwi Tapes, Major Chilla, Leaping Lemur, anyone who's ever talked about me, Uncle Gun, I mean you, Cyraxx, this is all about you. I mean, look, I'm dressed up as you right now, don't you like it? And Cyraxx is probably a little confused who he was talking about and mainly waiting for Uncle Gums to shut his mouth so he could finally say, yeah, that's nice and all, but who we're really getting is that dastardly William and that inward boy. We are not going to take it from them anymore. And you know, it was conflicting opinions, but there was going to be lawsuits fly. It's so crazy. He's like, and it's going to be the biggest in the world. I don't know what Uncle Gums was watching. He was probably watching H3H3 lose his mind and sue everyone into oblivion right now, and most of them deserve it. Just you don't want to mess with H3 at the moment. And just like DSP, Uncle Gums was cooking up some thoughts. He's like, yeah, that's how we're going to get him. Like, hey, wait a second, guys. Did I just discover something just now? Was Uncle Gums in communication with DSP? Is that where DSP got the idea from? He was trying to assemble the Avengers of Lolcows, but fumbled before he could get the Nova online. If only he would have bought a second paracord.
Shows in different countries, having fan meetups and having fun, hanging out with fans, hanging out with my friends, hanging out with my family, going on vacations whenever the I want. That's what I should be doing. But instead of sitting here and waste my time on a bunch of fucking man babies, I'm over here perfecting my craft as a vocalist. And as a songwriter, as a storyteller, you know, as a movie producer. I'm over here honing my craft and doing my shit. I mean, come on, I've literally perfected being able to do pretty much any song in a metalcore style vocal or a deathcore style vocal. But yet, I'm not talented. I've literally had the basis of Sublime say how good I am. But yet, y'all still say I ain't shit. I've had literal pros in the music industry say that I have real potential to actually do shit. But yet, y'all trolls say that I ain't shit. Which I actually find hilarious. Yeah, I know that once I found out who the he was, I looked into him, I got sick to my stomach. Like, I seriously got sick to my stomach when I found out who that motherfucker was. So yeah, to anybody out there saying like, oh, you didn't send the money back to him. Yes, I didn't. My Amazon order being canceled proves that shit. Like, that literally proves it right there. Here's the thing, Eddie. I don't need to show anything other than what I just showed, because, dude, you wanted to see the canceled orders, there you fucking go. As soon as I found out that motherfucker was a piece of shit, I went and canceled my order, and I sent the money back to the motherfucker, plain and simple. Like, that right there proves it, dude. And I can't show my Cash App on a live stream, because it won't allow me to do screen share, therefore I cannot show that. How am I supposed to do that when I'm on my phone, you idiot? It's not possible to screen share on your phone during the live stream, dude. It's not possible. Because especially after how you fooled my ass, sending me $50 that I literally sent right back to you after I found out who the you were. Yeah. Sorry, I don't accept money from else. I send that shit right the back. Which is what I did.
So let me get this right, Cyraxx. One of the band members from Sublime told you was going to be a professional music artist one day, as you like to put it. Not only did that not happen, this reminds me of the time when you was telling the people about how good you was at baseball back in the day, and one of the professional pitchers or just someone from the MLB was telling you how good you would have been if you didn't have that shoulder injury. Cyraxx was going to make it, guys. He 100% was. You can tell from his body type that he had what it takes to be a professional baseball player. No, not just a high school star, which is really good. No, not a D3 college athlete, which is an amazing feat, or even D1. He was good enough to be a pro, and this guy spotted that in young Cyraxx. Or when he was talking to the Green Ranger and got all the praise in the world from him, which is why you're such a big fan to this day. Like, it doesn't matter what Cyraxx has done in his life, all these careers, all these ventures, he's been told by a professional in each and every one of them that he could have made it, that he had true potential to do something with his life. And it's not just complete delusions he's made up in his head. Oh no, believe him, guys, for real. I wonder if Uncle Gums was enjoying these conversations when Cyraxx was just sitting there lying to him 24/7, all for the measly sum of $50 and probably a lot more donations. I also heard Uncle Gums was planning on buying Cyraxx an Xbox again. So we'll have to see if that actually came through or not. But it's so crazy how quick Cyraxx was to turn on Uncle Gums, because as soon as someone was questioning him about it, Cyraxx was like, no, I refunded that $50. I'm not going to show you guys my screen because you guys don't deserve to see that. And I'm also streaming off my phone, so how would I even show you guys? It's not like I could screenshot it, email it to my computer, which I obviously have. I've shown you I've got it, and then you guys can see what I'm talking about. But no, I'm going to do it the hard way. Just trust me on this one, guys.
Because there's one thing I don't put up with. It's a copying my goddamn style and doing the shit that I'm doing. And this motherfucker sits here and wants to rip off of my style. F you, Gum. You ain't gothic. You ain't alternative like I am. Like, bro, I'm literally a country boy that just happens to wear alternative and gothic clothing. Why? Because that's what I am. That's what I'm into. I f with anime, I f with gothic shit, and I f with alternative shit. I mean, literally, bro, like, have you not seen the clothes I f wear? I mean, clearly I rock gothic shit and I rock alternative shit, bro. Always have, always will. And believe me, that pisses me off. Because now, because of him, I gotta switch up my style. I gotta do something different. Which pisses me the f off. Because now, instead of rocking my signature style that you guys rock and that you guys like, I now have to switch it up to something else. Because I will not rock the same style as a like him. That. Nope, not happening. See ya. I got tricked in this shit. I got illegally entrapped. Therefore, I am not a I've had every branch of law enforcement say the same thing. So f you, dude. I'm gonna rock one of my OG signature looks outside of that. There we go. Should I rock this look or should I go something entirely new that I know that motherfucker can't copy? Because he ain't got it. Matter of fact, now let me complete this look right quick. Where did my chainmail go? There y'all go, motherfuckers.
You were so excited when you seen Uncle Gums dressed up as you, and it doesn't take but a Facebook click on him or just looking at his Twitter to see what Uncle Gums is all about. He literally posts and brags about talking to people he shouldn't every single day, or well, he did every single day, and Cyraxx probably saw that but was willing to ignore it because Uncle Gums was giving him money and promising him an Xbox, and who knows, he could have already got the Xbox, he just hasn't told us about it. And when it comes to your style, Cyraxx, when you say you're a country boy who's goth and alternative, doesn't that completely go against goth and alternative? And I never have thought Cyraxx dresses goth. I think he dresses like a 12-year-old, basically, like a 12-year-old who skips school every day. Gothic boy, who we covered recently, who barely dresses gothic at all, dresses more gothic than you, Cyraxx. And when Cyraxx was saying, I'm going to go with a brand new original style, I was thinking, yeah, right, Cyraxx, what could you pull out of your closet that would make you original from everyone else? But you know what? I think he pulled it off. I don't think anyone else in the world is going to go with the medieval Ronin look. I think you got that in the bag, Cyraxx. Now maybe Uncle Gums will grow a little bit jealous, you know. Maybe Dad will take Uncle Gums out of timeout and Uncle Gums will now be allowed to talk to you again. Because if you guys don't know, after talking to Cyraxx, Uncle Gums' father was made aware of Uncle Gums' actions, and Uncle Gums' father was like, my son, Gummy Boy, is doing what? I can't believe this, Gums. Your phone access is taken away. I pay your rent, now you're gonna listen to me, boy. Uncle Gums, like the good son he is, decided it's time to listen to Daddy. It doesn't matter if Uncle Gums is 50, 60 years old. Just like Cyraxx, the foot was put down and it was time to listen. So we're not gonna be hearing from Uncle Gums for a minute unless he finds a way to access the internet through a flip phone. But yeah, guys, that was the Uncle Gums and Cyraxx saga. Will this end today? Most likely, you know, since Uncle Gums is operating off a flip phone anymore, but you know, it could escalate, more things could happen, and if it does, we'll be here covering it. So I guess it's enough from me today, guys. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to drop a like, subscribe, comment down below, and big shout out to WordBoi. The video wouldn't have been possible without him. And with all that said, I'll catch you guys next time.